This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
India's fuel demand, hit by a deadly second wave of coronavirus, would recover to pre-pandemic levels by the end of this year, Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said on Tuesday. Local fuel consumption, a proxy for oil demand, in May slumped to its lowest since last August as lockdowns and restriction in several states stalled mobility and muted economic activity. Indian fuel demand showed signs of resurgence this month due to the lifting of lockdowns by states and a gradual pickup in economic momentum, Pradhan said at an energy summit organized by BNEF. India, the world's third biggest oil importer and consumer, imports over 80% of its oil needs.
Oil prices rose on Tuesday as broad hopes for a demand recovery persisted despite new outbreaks of the highly contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus prompting fresh mobility curbs worldwide. Brent crude futures were up 50 cents, or 0.7%, at $75.18 a barrel by 1400 GMT, having slumped by 2% on Monday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude futures rose 55 cents, or 0.8%, to $73.46 after a 1.5% retreat on Monday. From a global perspective, there are seemingly growing concerns over the increase in the COVID-19 Delta variant, said StoneX analyst Kevin Solomon.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Australia's oil industry lobby group on Tuesday slammed as extreme the amount the government has proposed as a levy on all of the country's offshore oil producers to cover the cost of decommissioning an offshore field. The levy was announced in May, catching the industry by surprise, but the details on the per-barrel charge were not announced. However, a discussion paper posted on the Department of Industry's website on June 24 said a charge of 48 Australian cents, 36 cents, per barrel would be imposed. To slug an entire industry 48 Australian cents per barrel and not put an end date on it is over the top, said Andrew McConville, Chief Executive of the Australian Petroleum Production and Exploration Association, APPEA.
OPEC sees a strong rebound in oil demand in the second half of 2021 with oil inventories shrinking, but the producer group also sees coronavirus variants posing a risk to the recovery. Demand in 2021 was expected to grow by 6 million barrels per day, BPD, with 5 million barrels of oil per day of that in the second half. OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Barkindo told Tuesday's meeting of the Joint Technical Committee of OPEC+, an alliance made up of OPEC states, Russia and their allies. The current wildcard factor is the Delta variant of the pandemic that is resulting in rising cases and renewed restrictions in many regions, he said in a speech, a copy of which was seen by Reuters. Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
Data provider Quandl, owned by U.S. exchange operator Nasdaq Inc., has agreed a deal to distribute a wide range of commodities data compiled by broker Marex, including speculative positioning estimates. The two groups announced the partnership on Tuesday after a sizzling rally in commodities that has attracted investment funds back to a sector shunned for years. The Quandl platform will offer daily Marex reports showing estimated long and short speculative positions in metals, agriculture and other commodities markets. Exchanges such as the London Metal Exchange and the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, release weekly positioning data, but those official reports track only futures, not over-the-counter activity, which Marex includes.
Australia said it has teamed up with the United States and Canada to launch an interactive map of deposits of rare earths and other critical minerals that are expected to be in hot demand as the world moves to cleaner forms of energy. The website contains the world's largest dataset of minerals such as cobalt, lithium and rare earth elements and has more than 7,000 mineral samples from over 60 countries which could help identify new areas of critical minerals. The data can be used by governments to identify options to diversify their critical minerals sources and by companies to better target their exploration strategies, Keith Pitt, the Minister for Resources, Water and Northern Australia, said in a statement. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. India on Tuesday cut import tax on crude palm oil to 10% from 15% for 3 months, the government said in a statement. The new duty would be effective from June 30, the statement said. The world's biggest importer of vegetable oils has been struggling to bring down edible oils prices, which hit record highs in May.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.